Well, what's up, brothers and sisters? Um, Brother Danny, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to go ahead and just kind of share what's going on in my life. Um, I know I did a video about, how I got involved into the gang lifestyle and ended up picking up a life sentence, and how by the grace of God I was able to make it out after 23 years, 24 years. Um, and and how also after all that I was deported. Uh, Being deported is something that is not something I expected it. Well, I did, but I didn't think it was gonna happen. I thought that maybe because I was incarcerated since I was a juvenile, that I was gonna go ahead and be given an opportunity to stay in the United States and start anew. But unfortunately, because of the crime that I committed, even though it was at a young age and I got tried as an adult, um, they even though that took place, I used to go ahead. I used to think that was gonna be some reason for them to allow me to stay. But unfortunately, that was the reason they did not allow me to stay. Um, that broke my family bond. I was raised by my mother and my grandfather. So when I got out after doing 23 years in prison and juvenile and in prison, I ended up, fighting my case in immigration for another year. I didn't have the money to get an attorney, so I started reading the law. I started fighting my case. I started writing and doing writs, appeals, all this stuff on my own. We used to spend 3 hours, 4 hours in the county jail library in Yuba County, and doing it on my own. I was God allowed me to find favor within the sheriffs there in that county, and when I was there, they used to bring me food and you know. Uh, they didn't know much about the law, but all they would do was just encourage me to continue. And they used to tell me, we admire you because you're not giving up, even though you know that, there's a slim chance for you to stay. You're not giving up. So, I fought the case and, I thought I was going to beat it. But on my last court appearance, unfortunately, I brought up, I went ahead and I brought up a law. A case which would have benefited me. But there were some, footnotes and little things that, went against me during that time that they used the same law against me. And, I lost my immigration case. So after that, after a year of fighting it, you know, uh, I decided to stop fighting it. And I just told them just to send me, just to deport me. I asked him to deport me because I wanted to be with my father, my grandfather. He's the one who raised me. He was already 94 years old, bedridden because of arthritis, a little bit of Alzheimer's, a little bit of dementia. At times he would recognize me, at times he didn't. So I want to spend time with him at least in the last, whatever, time period he had to live. Or even myself. I also wanted to see my mother already. I wanted her to see me already a free man. Uh, and as well my grandfather. I wanted both of them to see me that I was free already, that I wasn't in jail, that in case something happened to them, that if they passed away, that they would know that I was already out of there. So, I was released from. I was deported in 2006, 2014. I apologize. I was deported August 2014, and when I got here, big shock. I haven't been here since the age of 9 years old. So you're talking about 31 years, that I spent away from here, that I didn't know anything. I know how to speak Spanish, but my Spanish was more of that Spanglish, and or yeah, well, yeah, Spanglish, because mixing Spanish with English words and all that stuff. So when I got here, unfortunately, my Spanglish wasn't the Spanish that everybody else was speaking. So that that has been hard, because even though I've been out for 6 years, I still have a hard time speaking Spanish. And my wife, my children, and people I know, they still clown me about it. Uh, but it hasn't been an easy task. I've been here in Guatemala for 6 years, and these 6 years I have no support from nobody. Well, I'll say my mother, but just the same mentality I had in prison, I have it out here. I do not ask my mom for anything because I'm her only child. Nobody else takes care of her in the United States. She has to work. So I don't want to be a burden to her. Didn't want to be a burden to her while I was in prison, and I don't want to be one now. So I have had times that I have been here when I was single, that I didn't have no money whatsoever. Um, I didn't have what to eat, and I used to, I couldn't step out of the streets. Why? Because I didn't know anything here. I didn't know how things were over here. I came with a mentality that here was, that if you're a gang member with tattoos, that you will be looked upon wrong, or you will see the gangs here, the maras as they call them, and they will go ahead and cause you trouble. Um, I live in one of those neighborhoods where it's considered a red zone, which is like violent, because towards the more inside of the neighborhood, um, it's where 18th Street is, or at least used to be. So that's the reason why it was considered a red zone, a danger zone, because this gang members used to go ahead and they practice extortion here. You have a small business, you get extorted. They just come and they drop off a phone in front of you, and they just tell you pick it up when it rings, and they just walk away. If you don't pick it up, then they come back, and even to the point that if you refuse to pick up the phone, then they just come next time they come back, and they just kill you right then and there. That's their form of um, getting what they want. So uh, they were extorting, like little stores. This is what they do. They extort whomever has little businesses, little stores. Even these purified water distributors, they even can get extorted. And when this 18th Street gang was more open and active in this neighborhood, they even went to the point of hijacking one of these trucks and burning it in the and leaving it burning right there on the main street. So all this stuff, and all these perceptions that I have been told and everything, led me to kind of like not want to step out of my house, because I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to react to something like that, if towards my person, or if I would see somebody getting hurt. So uh, you know um, I kept to myself. But at the same time, keeping to myself, what it allowed me to develop was, not only was I already suffering, post traumatic syndrome, because I was having flashbacks, night sweats, nightmares, and everything, and while I was asleep, um, and anxiety attacks, all this stuff. And that's from, because being already a free man, but my mentality, my mind was still locked up. And and then anxiety for, I mean, any little thing I used to get anxiety. Depression, I got depressed many times because being here on my own. I have a home, which is my family's home, where my grandfather, where I actually grew up. It was my grandfather's, and I lived here on my own. I didn't have nobody else. I have an uncle, which lives two houses away, but he's the one that turned his back on me when I first got here. 2 months of me being here, him and his family just bounced. They went ahead and left me with nothing. Just at that time I had my mother and my grandfather here, and they left us with nothing, literally nothing. The only things that we had to eat was just plastic. I think a plastic fork, a plastic knife. I can't recall anymore. One of those wooden sticks from a popsicle, and a plastic bowl from a Chinese place here. That was what we had, so we could eat one of each. And it's that that caused for bitterness and resentment and anger to come into my life, and this allowed me to kind of like step away from the Lord. um, During the 6 years, what I have done is that I have gone ahead and you know I have looked for jobs. I have worked for call centers. I have worked for Royal Caribbean, a small, not a Royal Caribbean per se, but with the company. But I worked for a smaller cruise line. I worked for Walmart Family Mobile, part of T-Mobile. I have been a collections agent. I have worked selling, concert tickets, game tickets, and kind of like for Ticketmaster, but it's kind of like the cheaper Ticketmaster that I have worked for. I have also, I've worked for a software company that helps you just kind of like manage your finances, which that's currently what I'm doing. So these are the best paying jobs. Why? Because they're US bound call centers, meaning that we tend to just we just only deal with the United States customers. So they pay good. They pay good, and if you're lucky enough, you get a good job that you get paid at least $1,000 on a monthly basis. If you're a collections agent, I'm sorry, then you could end up getting at least you could get more. You could get at least 1,500 on a month, or maybe more. But it's a very stressful job because you got to keep your metrics, and if you don't hit it, then you get popped 50% of your bonuses the next time that you do make it. So it's a little bit stressful. So anyways, I have lived with all those type of things, and one of the things that I was asking God was to provide me with a family, something that I never thought I was going to have. I thank the Lord now that I have a wife, which I met, upon months that I arrived to Guatemala. We have had a tumultuous relationship, being as a boyfriend and girlfriend, because of my person, because of where I came from, what I dealt with, and I wasn't, accustomed to having a female around me. And the Lord blessed me with a wife, blessed me with two beautiful children. One from my loins, my own, which is the little one that you see up here. This little one is my baby girl, which she now just turned 4 years old, which she was born September 3rd, 2016. That September 3rd is actually the date that I got incarcerated. I got incarcerated September 3rd, 2000. September 3rd, 1992. So the irony is kind of like when the Lord reminded me, what I've been through, what He got me out of. I also have a boy, in which he's up here. That's my baby boy. He's 11 years old. That's my wife's from a previous marriage. That's her son. But that's my boy. I love him. I met him when he was 5 years old. That's my responsibility now. being able to provide for them is my task. And I have gone through a lot of things. I have gone through times that where we have stayed with no money, because I have been the sole provider. My wife works, but she gets paid like the minimum here. I get paid about tops about 900 to $1,000 on a monthly base. Now, that's what I get paid if I meet my bonuses. If I meet my bonuses, it goes good. I get about 900, about 800 or $900. But and they'll give it to me at the end of it. We get paid on the 15th and at the end of the month. Every 15th and every 30th or 31st, whichever it is, however many days the month it has. On the 15th, we only get paid half of our base salary, which it is about, let's see, we get paid about, I'll say probably about $500, if anything. Or about $500. 600, that's our base salary. So it gets split in half. So we get about $250 to on the 15th and on the 31st. But on the 31st, like I was saying, we get additional because of our bonuses that we make. So, I have been the sole provider in my home. I have gone through many things because of that. But by the grace of God, I'm here, Right now, one of the things that has taken place is that my wife was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, and she was diagnosed back in July, and as I'm giving you this recording today, she went for her third chemotherapy yesterday. She gets 2 chemotherapies 1 month, and the following month she only gets 1. So, it's the reason why you guys that know me, remember that I used to have long hair, and I used to have my long hair. That way I could go ahead and just donate it to cancer victims. I didn't think that it was ever going to hit close to my home, but it did. So about a month ago, my wife's first chemotherapy, like about 2 weeks after that, her hair started falling off. So we took down her hair, and I cut mine to show her support. She didn't want to, but I explained to her that was the reason why my hair was being long. That way I could donate it. So right now we're facing with this bills, because she's going to need the trifecta, which means that she's going through 6 treatments of chemo. Each chemo is about $200. It's about $200 each chemotherapy. So we have 6 of those, and after that, the surgery, she has to get her breast removed. That is gonna cost at least, I'll say about $2,000 to $3,000, and then afterwards she's gonna go through the radio treatment. Now, mind you, in those, I really don't know yet how many she's gonna get, how many treatments of those, but each of those cost, once again, $200 to $300. So right now is something that, by the grace of God, some brothers have helped out, and some family members have helped out, which has been something of a blessing. It had, well, not something. It has been a blessing because they have help me out with all this, and the burden has not been that much on me. I still gotta, provide for my children. My wife is not working right now, so I'm only the source of income. Um, am I worried? Am I stressed? Am I anxious or anything like that? I'm being truthful with you all that I am not. When this happened, I put it on the Lord's hand and I just told him, listen, Lord, this is your doing, and only you know why you allowed it to come into our lives. So, put it in your hands, and I don't want to go ahead and stress over this. I don't want to go ahead and worry about this. I want you to speak to me, and to my wife. And I know that this is gonna happen for a reason. It's happening for a reason, and it is so we could go ahead and give you glory and honor, whichever result it is. Whether she beats it or not. You know. So you know, it's hard. It's hard being able to not know if one day I'm not gonna have that money to be able to help her. Uh, I mean, I know that in the United States is something that I will be able to, uh, that I probably would have had a better opportunity, but instead God chose to bring me here. Uh, Sometimes I feel like if I had the opportunity to go to the United States and make some money and then come back, or send it to them, or take my family over there for a better life, then I would, But unfortunately, because of the laws and because of my crime, I have been banned from the United States, so I can't go back. So it's hard because my mother's there, and being an only child, and she's still working. She's by herself over there. She doesn't have nobody to take care of her. And, she can't come down here. I mean, she only comes once a year to spend time with us. But, she can't stay here because she has to work. So it's hard. It's hard living this way. Living in my homeland, my native land, is hard because, you know, I don't know it. I don't know this country that well. You know, uh, I only go to certain spots on a daily basis, and then I come back home. It's been 6 years since I've been out, and I've been probably to the beach 2 times. Um, probably been to a park probably 3 times, because it's not like the United States where you have different parks that you could go to. Um, you know, and don't go out much. I try to provide to my family, try to take them out to places and everything, but you know, sometimes being short on cash is kind of like an impediment of to not be able to do it. Uh, but it's hard. It's hard trying to make it in a land where you actually don't know much about it. You Where you were only born, probably raised at a certain age, and then your whole life was made up in the United States. In my case, unfortunately, within 3 years of me arriving there, I joined the gang. Within 4 years, 4 years or 5 years of being in the United States, I got incarcerated. Did 23 in prison, one in the county jail fighting immigration. So a total of 24 years incarcerated. And you know, it's hard to try to start over where you don't have no kind of support, where you come, and in comparison to the United States, you could go to different places where you could find uh, free studies. Yeah, you gotta work, but at the same time, they provide you ways to better yourself, and then at the same time, they locate you, and they allocate you to with a job and things like that after you finish the training and all that stuff. Here, you don't have none of that. Here, you just come here and hoping that you could try to find you know, a job in a call center where it pays okay, and hoping that you're not living in an area where you're gonna have problems with gangs, or because of the things you might have, or because you coming from the streets, seeing you with that tattoos and everything. So and, it's not an easy life. Uh, it's something that you need. We learn how to survive in there and try and adapt. And it's the same thing here. You have to learn how to adapt to a new environment, an environment that it's um it's an environment that you're a total stranger to, you know. So, you know, uh, uh, um, I testify that I have been able to make it all by God's grace, because at my lowest points, times that when I was single and I didn't have nothing, no food, no nothing to eat, God was providing for me. And at times that I have stayed without no money, when being a family man now, God has provided for me. So, and my family. So, all these things, is, I wish that there would have been a law where they would have been conscious of the things that we went through. I come. When I left Guatemala, it was a war-torn country. I learned violence. I seen death. I seen, all that. I experienced all that, and I come to a country where I wasn't. It wasn't my land, uh, but at the same time, because of being an immigrant, I was picked on. So I went ahead and sought those people that we share the same thing, and you know, but that we still made our life over there. We did all our schooling. We did everything that we prepared to go ahead and had a better life, better opportunities in the United States. For us that were locked up, that we did our studies, that we better ourselves. Why? Because we were led to believe that by you studying, by you bettering yourself, you were going to step out and be provided with a lifestyle to be able to exercise everything that you learn in prison. Uh, you know, Self-help programs, being able to your studies, all this stuff, that you could use it once you stepped out. But reality was that, we prepare ourselves for things in the United States which are not helping us in our home country, in our homeland. So, these are things that are going on. And I know that myself, I didn't have any children when I got deported. But I know that there are many, many ex-felons that have left their families, their wives, their girlfriends, their children. And to them, that's kind of like, it's another sentence. Why? Because they have been separated from their homes, from their families. If they fought to make it out of prison, to be with them, but only to come to the reality that they were being deported and they were going to be separated again. So uh, this is something that is not an easy task. A lot of people may say, you know what, well, you did the crime, you got to pay the price. But the price, we paid it. We paid it when we got sentenced, when we did, 20, 30, whatever many years in prison for those crimes. And I feel that we should be given the opportunity to step out again and go ahead and be integrated into society and demonstrate that we do deserve that a second opportunity there. Um, I have been given a second opportunity by the Lord, and I have it here in Guatemala. I know that things may be hard for me here, but my focus is doing the things of God and working in a ministry, a motorcycle ministry to which I belong to now. That is one of the things that God has bestowed upon me, uh, and that's what I'm doing. I want to go ahead and just live my life the best possible way. And like I said, I've been married. You know, I've been married going on 4 years. I have a 4-year-old daughter, an 11-year-old son, and a wife, which the Lord is blessing her to be right there, but not knowing if she's gonna make it through all this cancer that she's got, the breast cancer. Uh, but it's hard, it's hard, and it's something that I'm lost for words. you know, um, I don't know. I just think that we should be given another opportunity. You know, I know that they tell me one day, listen, Gus, you could come back to the United States. Obviously, I'm not gonna go by myself. I gotta take my family with me. But I know that with another opportunity, my life would have been different. You know, so I don't think I would have had all these hardships that I have endured. Uh, and I think you know probably my integration back into society would have been more smoothly, because I had my mother and more support over there, and you know and I didn't need to really learn a new culture again. I just needed to reintegrate and just kind of like catch up. But being deported, I actually had to learn a new culture. Same thing as when I arrived to the United States. As a 9-year-old boy, I had to learn a new culture. I adopted it and I lived it. And when I stepped out of prison, they made me do that again. So here I am, 6 years after being deported, learning the new culture and adapting to it. But it's hard, you know. So I just want to go ahead and just share that with you all. I want to commend to all those brothers that are fighting for prison reform, for laws that are, they're willing to help the deported felons. And, I just, you know, want to commend to those brothers that are still fighting and assisting all this, supporting all these groups which are giving opportunities to gang members. That way they don't go ahead and land in prison, for them to change their lives, or for those that step out, for them to change their lives and make a better living, for themselves and for others. For all of you, I want to go ahead and just tell you, keep going, man, keep going. But do not go so far without knowing that you gotta put God first in your life, and then first in everything that you do. So with that, I thank you all for what you're doing, and just keep chugging on, and just keep moving forward and keep helping everybody, man. And for yourselves, many blessings. And Danny, thank you, bro. Many blessings upon you, your family. Much love to you, and God bless, and God bless to everybody. All right, have yourself a great one. All right, thank you for the time.